Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Martin here from Kodiak. Your favorite Chad from Poland is back. What's poppin', ladies and gentlemen? So today we're gonna talk about a very controversial topic here, but why attractive men get no women. And this is something that's rather unpopular to talk about, but in my opinion and from my honest experience, I think it's a real thing. It's very legitimate. And I believe there are really only 4 reasons why this is happening. And particularly after my glow up journey, I can definitely see that this is a very common thing. And I see this all the time, even in my gym, bro. I see attractive men everywhere, and yet they get no women. So, first of all, this is like a common myth that a lot of y'all believe. And I used to believe that when I was younger. A lot of men think that looks alone are enough. And I think it's a lie. You know, looks alone are not enough. Because as a man, you need to be successful across the board today. This is a real thing. Okay? Y'all are not going to attract women all the time just based on your looks. I mean, sure, every now and then it might happen. Especially if you go to some places like Colombia or South America in general, Asia, Thailand, or you want to attract some of these, club women. Definitely, it might happen more often than you think. But as a general rule of thumb, you can't depend on your looks to pull baddies. And it also depends on what type of women you want to attract into your life. But the thing is, looks alone are not enough. I live in Poland, by the way. Like, Eastern Europe in general is very known for having very beautiful women. And y'all think that all these baddies here are just looking for men with good looks? Hell no. Hell no. This is why, as a man, you can't just rely on your looks. As a matter of fact, you have to be across the board today. Okay? Which actually leads me to my next point. Second of all, a lot of attractive men have this misconception around looks. Just because you're attractive, it doesn't mean that women find you attractive or desirable. Now, I know this is gonna sound very strange, but it's a real thing. Now, you may get a lot of that upfront attraction from women. They're gonna give you a lot of looks, a lot of stares and shit like that. And some of them may be very flirty with you right from the beginning. But it doesn't mean that they actually want to be with you and commit to you, right? This is a whole different thing. And I feel like this is the thing that a lot of these looks maxes and a lot of these, black pill guys will never get. Looks alone looks are not enough. You need to be more. You need to be more today. You need to be masculine. You need to be especially when you're dating women, and particularly when you're attractive. This can be a trap, because when you're dating women as an attractive guy, they expect you to be a better package overall. They expect you to be a better vehicle, right? They expect you to be funny. They expect you to be strong and masculine and dominant and financially stable. This is a real thing. And a lot of guys can't wrap their head around this. Because a lot of guys, and I'll say this, a lot of attractive guys are lazy. They don't want to put in the work. They just want to rely on their face and their face card just to pull women. And it's not going to work. Occasionally you might pull a baddie just based off your looks. But if you want to attract them consistently, you need a lot more than just your looks. And yes, I know this is a very unpopular thing to say, because it's gonna sound like I'm contradicting myself here, based on what I told you on my previous videos. But I've learned this not so long ago. You need to be successful as a man in every single category, right? Because if you're not him, if you're attractive and you're not strong, you're not masculine, your confidence is not on point, you can't talk. You don't have a sense of humor. You can't really, you don't know how to talk to women. You're going to turn them off. That's a huge turn off to women. right? Because they're fantasizing about you. They're creating all these stories about you before they meet you, and then when they meet you in real life, you're not him. It's like, you know, it's almost like your personality and your game doesn't match your looks. And this is a huge trap. This is a common pitfall for a lot of men. But if you are attractive and if you have game and everything else in your life is in order, bro, you're gonna pull women 24/7. Okay? That's when you're dangerous. And at this point, you have no competition, in my opinion. But most men are not him. A lot of attractive men, they're shy. They're kind of lousy. They're not really, they don't have that frame. They're not leading. They don't have that masculine role. And bro, it's such a turnoff for a lot of women. It's repulsive. And this is why most of the time, man, usually attractive men get no women. And even from the guys that I know, the men who are really attractive, like, in my eyes, they're usually either very lonely or they're pulling women every now and then. And usually it's like a long-term relationship. And that just proves my point. Usually the guys that get the most women, the guys who are like Casanovas and players, bro, these guys are kind of, they're all a little bit attractive, but they're not like that top attractive dudes. And that's a real thing. Because you need to be confident, you need to be strong, and you need to know how to talk. Most importantly, you need to know how to hold a conversation and how to like escalate and how to like seduce women, because that's a whole different ball game. That's your game. That's your famous. Okay. Third of all, a lot of women have trust issues when it comes to attractive men, because a lot of people have preconceived notions and beliefs about attractive people. This is like why when you watch all these, sitcoms and all these Hollywood movies, usually the really attractive guys, they're usually the bad guys. They're usually manipulating women. They're usually, some jerks. They're playboys. They're players. They're usually, manipulating women, And, women don't trust these guys. Sorry, gentlemen. There's some fucking stupid girls that are messing around. Sorry for the background noise. But the point is, you need to be successful across the board as a man. And when it comes to women, like, they're gonna have this belief about you right from the get-go. And it's a hard pill to swallow, because a lot of you attractive guys out there, you're trying your best to be this good guy. And in my opinion, if you're attractive, you can't be a good guy. You have to like match her expectations of you, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And for the record, like going back to what I just talked about, a lot of women will assume that you're a player. A lot of women will think that you're always gonna have women around you, that you're never gonna be faithful and stuff like that. And it's a tough thing. Which is why, in my opinion, you should date as many women as you can. And simply like, because of this, as a matter of fact, a lot of women may reject you because you're too attractive, and they will not trust you. Like, sure, like I can tell you from experience, you may get a lot of matches and a lot of likes on these dating apps or on Instagram, but it doesn't mean that they want to be with you. It doesn't mean they want to date you. A lot of women usually use these apps for validation. They're just using it, to ghost guys all day, which is why you need to hold your ground. You can't be fazed by these women, right? Don't let their games move you, man. You have to be in your center. So that's the thing. A lot of women are going to be turned off by attractive men simply because they can't have them. They know that they can't lock you down because you're a different vehicle. You're a whole different animal, right? And number 4, and this is gonna be my last point. Usually, attractive men, they intimidate men and women simultaneously, which leads to fewer connections and fewer like real authentic relationships and friendships. Which is why they don't really get that many opportunities to meet new people. So in a way, it's almost like you have to be a lot more self-dependent on getting women. And it's a real thing. Like I say this all the time in my videos. Like the more attractive you are as a man, the fewer friends you're going to have, because people will have this prejudice. People are always going to be very judgmental when it comes to you, and you're going to be met with a lot of polarized opinions. They're either going to be your biggest fans and your biggest supporters right from the beginning, or they're going to hate you for no reason. They're going to straight up resent you. They will always try to pull you down, and they're going to be like mad and frustrated and angry at you for no reason, just because you're attractive. And I faced this a lot in my life, and that's a real thing, and that's the bottom line. And it's not a problem with you. So if you're attractive as a man, you need to be him. And I know, like, some people are going to say, oh, you can't be cocky, you can't be this and that. Bullshit. People expect you to be that way. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be some arrogant prick or some douche. No. But you need to be confident. And you can't be moved by all these people who are trying to pull you down. Especially women. Like, I believe that the more attractive you are, the more women are going to test you. Because they want to see if you're actually him. Because there are a lot of attractive guys out there who are complete pussies. You see this I see this from time to time, man. Sometimes you can see an attractive guy and his girl's like completely run down. She looks like a wildebeest. And like at the back of my mind, I'm just thinking, hey, something is a little bit off. Like, something is wrong with this guy. Like, he's attractive and he pulled like a 3. Like, what the hell is going on here? And that's usually a fact. Like, I usually think, hey, this guy is either A, unconfident, and B, he has no balls to talk to more beautiful women. And yes, I know this may sound like I'm very superficial here, but I believe that if you're attractive, you should date people who are on your level or somewhat close to it. Otherwise, because I feel like if you're dating beautiful women, it's almost like they're more used to attractive men, and they know that they're closer to your level. And even then, a lot of women are going to be intimidated by you. Even beautiful women. I would actually say even attractive women are going to be a lot more insecure around you. They're going to test you more. It's almost like, they know that they're on your level, but at the same time, they know that you're going to be a hard catch. A lot of them are going to be, they're just not going to trust you. They're not going to be like, they don't necessarily want to settle down with you. Which is why you have to show these girls that you're not like that, like all these pricks and all these players who are just, running around, they're just sleeping with women all the time, and they're just, dumping women like they're nothing. Like all these red pill guys are talking about this all day long, like all these, well, that's a whole different discussion. But my point is, you have to be the man and talk to more women. That's my best advice here. Talk to more women, and don't be lazy, and work on your skills, especially your interpersonal skills, because you need experience as a man. Because it goes back to my previous point. When you're him, they expect you to be him, because that's how all these attractive guys are shown in movies. Like James Bond. I think James Bond is a perfect example here. He's attractive, definitely, but he also knows how to seduce women. He knows how to talk to women and how to be in his frame. And by extension of that, women are very drawn to this guy, because they're never able to figure him out, And if you're attractive, this already works in your favor, because you're attractive, and it's almost like you're already in the door. But that's half the battle. Looks only get you in the door. But if you want to keep the girl, if you want to like have her around, you need to be a lot more than just attractive. And I've learned this from experience. So that's the bottom line. Okay? Bro, it was all beans here. And this is something that a lot of people are not talking about. Because I feel like you can't really speak on this matter unless you've been there. And I'm speaking from Bro, I've dated many women in my life, and I can tell you that you need to be him as a man. You need to be that guy that she's sexualizing in her head. She's fantasizing about you. She wants you to be him. But if you're not him, bro, it's such a turnoff. You're gonna repulse these women. So you need to have the audacity to talk to more women. And, otherwise, you're gonna sabotage your progress. You're gonna jeopardize it. So be the man. Be the man and get your experience, man. And don't just rely on your looks. Because this is a myth, man. I just want to debunk it here. All these looks maxes and all these black pillars, bro, they're wrong. That's cope. Sure, I'm not saying that looks don't help. They definitely help. But it's only to a degree. The rest, you need to be a top man. You need to feel, bro, you need to fill all the buckets. Excuse me. Bro, like my accent is all over the place today. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Remember that. So, did I miss out on anything here? I don't think so. Well, but that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We're in the building, like always. And yeah, by the way, please check out my Instagram account. I'm gonna plug it somewhere here down below. And that's it. See ya, guys.